Wow. The only obvious observation and understanding of the brain activity that's so bad, 99 to beat out of, wow, that's nuts. But it's insane. Deriving entertainment from people doing ridiculous things for money. Okay. People get killed over money. People get raped over money. Prostitution. That's accepting money as value and offering yourself to rape. And then becoming a rapist, because if you get money and they accept the money, you go in there and you engage in a holy covenant activity without the holy covenant. Do you understand? All right. So as you're on TV and you're advertising for holding food hostage, holding housing hostage, as you have all these universities talking about how much advances they have in the medical industry. It's an industry, okay, of a genocidal operation. The cancer cells are in the body naturally to help the body deal with toxins, okay, because there's toxins. Okay? And the more severe and aggressive and unnatural the toxin, the harder it is for the body to process the toxin and survive the poisoning. Now, some poisonings are so intense, and you know that. Okay, but people, if you have the right, the medical industry and stuff like that, if you have the right intelligence, you can survive a bite from a venomous snake. A bite from, it has nothing to do with seeing a doctor. It has nothing to do with going to a building. It has nothing to do with participating in industrialization. Okay? It just has the knowledge, okay, and what is necessary with the knowledge to survive the poison. Okay? It's that simple. As you have to describe things. I was watching what was the name of that show? Bonanza last night. And this guy, Michael Landon's character, has this mountain man with this pretty blonde daughter that's deaf. Okay. And he won't take her anywhere because he gets harassed and abused by people that are ignorant, right? And Joe goes and teaches her sign language. Wants to go see this doctor to learn sign language. It's not really a doctor. It's just having a way of helping someone communicate. What you think he would have developed a way to do that, since people, there's ignorance and it was ignorance. But, when someone's deaf and you don't have sign language, you develop your own. Okay, you do develop your own way of communicating without, if you really love someone, like in that TV show. But that's like sitting there saying that there's these magic solutions that people have come up with, and it's a nice way of communicating universally. But it doesn't need a quote doctor. It just needs some understanding. You can make up your own. Okay, this means I don't like you. Okay, this means up your fucking nose. Okay, do you understand? So you can do it, and you can make up your own. If it's just the two of you and you're up in the mountains, it's Wolverton Mountain and it's Clifton Collars, and that's his daughter. Okay, so they don't have to follow social norms. They just have to do what works, right? Now, when you learn sign language, it's universal, so you can communicate with lots of different people. What if you don't want to communicate with lots of different people? What if people lie to you? What if people say, like last night, I was having a conversation with the people connecting to me and monitoring me to my Sanyo and my thing, and they are there, trust me. And I'm like, just because people use the word God incorrectly doesn't mean the meaning of the word is incorrect. Like the word love. How many people say they love you and then ask you for money and kill you and your children and then say there is no God? Okay, do you understand? You're dealing with me, okay? You've got to understand there's a molecular structure and there's eternal spirit of Adam, Moses, David, and Jesus, okay? And Saladin and Pascal and so forth. And they've had the science, okay, to study the genetic sequence because of the communications from other people talking to and fro to this human being that is the spirit of the same person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of a similar person. It's not the same person, but the essence that provides life to this body, okay, is the same essence. So there's a soul in the world, okay, that is like Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. You have to explain this to people. And during the apocalypse, his name is Earl, and his father's name is Ralph, and his mom's name is Mary, okay? And now we've known this for thousands of years. That's why the royal families will set up their castles and that's why they set up this class system. I'm royal, I'm regal, I'm always at the top. You're always at the bottom. That's why they set this up. And that's why they act like I don't exist and it doesn't exist. Because when Earl exists and he's the spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, the class warfare system is abolished. You know, remember a man, they have some newsreels of it, but it wasn't shown publicly till years after he was murdered, you know. There's a perpetual conspiracy to keep people perpetually poor and perpetually wealthy, and I'm going to do everything I can to uncover it and stop it. And then he was shot in Dallas like a week later, back in the 1960s. Okay, so ask not what Jesus Christ has done for you, ask what you can do for Jesus Christ, right? 13 years old, Demi, New Mexico. The military had the evidence. If they deleted the evidence, it doesn't matter. I am the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Okay. They could have the most intense surveillance in the history of the world on my entire life and deleted all the evidence. So it will be my word against theirs. Are they the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer? Is their life in the book of Revelation? Then it's irrelevant whatever they're doing at a university for a medical industry that mass murders people over money. Okay, I don't need, okay. I just, God is not watching this. I don't believe that God is love. He's why he's up above. God is the essence of all existence. Love is what sustains us to sustain ourselves through the natural laws given to us by the glory of God. Okay. So it is the nature, okay, of the glory of God for us to love one another, to sustain ourselves, to not hold food hostage, but to share, giving, need built to last. If you need to do something, get up and do it. If you're doing things that we don't need to do, that put the species at risk of eliminating our capacity to sexually reproduce and continue life through holy covenants, you're being an abomination to the gift of that holy covenant reproduction. I had dreams last night about uncomfortable and angry things of homosexuals, especially the angry women and stuff. Then I woke up in the morning and I had a prayer connection to a man that I've always really appreciated and admired his voice since I was a teenager, because Mom didn't give me him until we were in Phoenix. I'd heard chances are, but I didn't know who's this guy. And then she had this tape, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, where's this? Like I should have Nancy Wilson in my 20s. Like, where's she been hiding? Why have you been hiding her my whole life, Mother? Why didn't you give me this woman earlier, Mother? She's wonderful, Mother. She's the best. Which Johnny Mathis, sir, agrees. She's absolutely gorgeous and she's beautiful. Love can do anything, anything. You just put Nancy on and go, I just love her. She's so beautiful and she's so, I've said that about Johnny Mathis, that he looks like he could be Nancy's brother. Okay. I'm saying, okay, he's saying that I have beautiful quality. Of course, he's, when he was young, he was gorgeous kid. Looks like he could be Nancy's brother. And sings like he could be Nancy's brother. There you go. It does that too, right? And so the soul, being the infinite essence to our eternal existence, understands, when people become homosexual, it's because we're heterosexually wrong. And the only way to be sexual is to heterosexual right. Do you understand? So I'm not wrong. I just explain religion, belief, and faith and love better than people that are egotistical maniacs that think God resides only here. ¿Tú entiendes? Okay. So I'm really good at this. I got up to record the game for Dad, but it's not on. So I'm watching the Utes and the Red Raiders. And Finn, they don't know who Finn is. I know who Finn is. He's from the University of Toledo, and he's playing at Miami now. Why? Because of money. He went to like West Virginia or whatever. He went to a bigger program, but it didn't work out well for him. He got beat up. So he went to a smaller program, and he can play his game without getting beat up as much. So he can get paid for 4 or 5 years or 6, depending if you go to a junior college. But you can't get paid for 2 years at a junior college the way you can get paid at because they're not affiliated the same the corporation. Yeah, junior colleges and the 4-year colleges are a different incorporation. That's why Diego Pavia won the case. Okay, it's just about business. It's all about It's all about being stuck in hell and not standing up for the Messiah and Las Cruces. Derf. I've been explaining this to people for years, But and like I said, they can take all the truth, there is no evidence. Okay, they deleted all the evidence, but I'm still the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and you're not. My name is Earl. I'm born of Ralph and Mary in the Book of Revelation. I'm the spirit of the 1322nd Redeemer of the Islamic documents. I proved it beyond any reasonable doubts just by what I do every day. They could take all the surveillance and have the military guys, they didn't have the technology like they do today to invade and manipulate our communications. Okay. They were monitoring me talking to Little Hawk in Casper, Wyoming. Okay. I've been doing this my whole life. Jesus talked to me, when they were monitoring that, it wasn't them talking for Jesus in my head. They didn't have the same Wi-Fi communications. They were monitoring the communications. And if they eliminated the evidence of the surveillance on that, it doesn't make the prayer that me and Jesus had go away on that, Jesus, this is stupid. I agree. Okay. So, and even if they are, quote, thinking they're manipulating a program to play with my ego right now, it's like, how do you know it's not the computer trapping you in your ego because you have an ego problem and I don't? Oh, nice interception. It's hard to choose. I like both these teams. I like the Raiders and I like the Utes. So this is a tough one. This isn't like Aggies, Lobos, Aggies, Miners. But like I said, if the it's the end of the year, I did this with Arizona and Arizona State. It's the end of the year, and one's got a chance to go to the Rose Bowl, and the other is playing spoiler and is at 500, and one's undefeated. I'm rooting for the one that's undefeated, so they can go to the Rose Bowl and represent. Yeah. Yes, if it's when Arizona State did that to Arizona, I was like, God damn devils, you fuck us, and we screw each other. We're like the fucking Pirates and the Cardinals. Shit. Okay. Get some. I tell that to my mom. Why'd you have a big crush on Roberto Clemente? You're born in St. Louis. Just leave it at St. Louis. Well, the Pirates are always knocking off the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are always knocking off the Pirates, Ma. It's cute. I love you guys. All right. It doesn't matter. It's just a game. It's just exercise. It's just a way to have fun. So we're not raping, looting, and pillaging and killing each other over a bag of prostitution money. You don't hate me. You hate the truth about yourself. You love me because I'm the way, the truth, and life. Well, life's eternal and grace is infinite. That's why you always pray to me, but you don't get me because you hate the truth of your life. It's not that hard, okay? Peace out, man.